Yo, today we are going to be going over some crazy Reddit stories where we're dealing with some pretty entitled parents. I don't know if you guys are on TikTok or anything of that nature. I mean, the Clock app or anything of that nature, but there's been a lot of dialogue going around talking about at what age women should be having children, which is completely no one's business, but it is there. So I thought I would do a segment regarding entitled parents or people just basically thinking that you should love their kids just as much as they love their kids. Like, just love your kids and leave us alone. That's how I am right now. But anyways, we're just gonna jump right into the story so that we can start getting the opinions. Remember, we are live streaming, so if you are watching on the live, make sure you comment in the chat box whether you think the person is the a-hole, and if you are watching on the replay, go ahead and let us know whether you think this person or the people in the story are the a-hole down in the comment section. Now, I did forget to do the banners, Kimmy. So if you could help me out with banners, I have a Reddit banner thing in our little, the little folder. But I usually just change like the ending of it. Am I the a-hole for this? Am I the a-hole for that? But anyways, I forgot to do them. So hopefully Kimmy can help us out. And yes, I can actually send you the links. We are off to a crazy start. But hello, everyone. I've been MIA. And we'll talk about me being MIA a little bit at the end of the live stream. So please, I thank you all for bearing with me and not being able to stream this week. But there's probably going to be some changes, and I will let y'all know of them changes a little later on in the stream. Let's jump into the story. Like I said, where's Bossy B at? This is what happens when you don't stream for a while. So anyways, let's get right into the first story, which is, am I the a-hole for saying I hate kids in front of a pregnant woman? Now, you could be the a-hole, but also you may not be, because like I said, sometimes people are a little bit entitled, and that's what the stream is about. So let's see. Am I the a-hole for saying I hate kids in front of a pregnant woman? Me, let's get it together, Brie. Me, 28 female. I know what it is. I need to change my screen up. Okay, see, this is what happens when you don't stream for a week. I did not got it together if y'all can't tell. So anyways, let's start over. Am I the a-hole for saying I hate kids in front of a pregnant woman? Me, 28 female, and my partner, 27 male, were attending a mutual friend's engagement party. We sat next to a pregnant couple around the same age and another woman in her 30s with a 2-year-old whom we've never met. My partner had met the couple once before 2 years ago, but I hadn't met them. Over the next hour or so, we made small talk and got to know one another. The other woman with the 2-year-old never talked to us. They were nice people and liked to joke around. Okay, so they're kind of giving us a little background and kind of the dynamic that's going on between them. At some point, the husband asked us if we were interested in wanting kids, and I say, no, I don't like children. He pressed and asked something along the lines of, are you just not interested, or is it just not in the cards for you? And I said, smiling and laughing, I hate kids. I didn't deadpan it. I wasn't sarcastic. I was laughing and cordial, though that was my honest belief. The thing about him continuing to ask and say, is it not in the cards for you? In my opinion, is a bit rude. Like, what do you mean? Is it not in the cards for you? Why does it matter to you, sir? How is this any of your business? So my partner spoke up and said she only likes kids if they are other people's kids to the husband. No, I didn't. I said I hate kids. Wherein I say, that's not true. There she go. That's not true. Again, everyone is laughing and smiling. However, after we leave, my partner said I was tone deaf and rude for saying that in front of a pregnant couple. The other husband was tone deaf and rude for saying, is it not in the cards for you? That's rude. I didn't think so since everyone was laughing and they had asked my opinion about my own life, but he said I should have been polite and not said that considering they're pregnant and the woman with a child was there. She was not a part of the conversation. So she was only talking to the pregnant woman, and her boyfriend is basically standing up to these, or standing up for these people who seem to kind of be joking around and not really thinking about it. So that's a bit weird to me. So what do you think? Am I the a-hole for giving my opinion when asked, or should I have bit my tongue? She goes on to give an update and say, I got in touch with the couple and apologized. A lot of people said I wasn't the a-hole, but many people said I was rude. So I thought that the least I could do was say I was sorry for saying such a harsh statement. The couple responded and said they genuinely don't remember me even saying that, and that they aren't easily offended and they could care less if I hate kids. Like, because why would that affect them? So this couple was not really worried about the comment, but her boyfriend made it a big deal when the couple didn't really care about it. And my thing is, like, you're probably never going to see those people again. And even if you do, because you have mutual friends, like, who cares if you hate kids? You don't hate their kids. You just don't have to be around them. So I don't know. Let me know what y'all think. Do you think that OP is the a-hole for saying I hate kids to a pregnant couple? And this is where we get into the entitlement of the parents, in my opinion. I'm going to let y'all know my thoughts after we go through the comments. After I go through the comments, then I will jump in the chat and see what the Bree Hive has to say about this story. So she said she hates kids to a pregnant couple. I'm not going to give my opinion. I'm not going to give my opinion yet. So let's see what the comments have to say on Reddit. The first person says, honestly, I think it was very rude of the husband to press for details. Had the issue been infertility, this could have been hurtful. This could have been a hurtful line of questioning. At that point, he deserved whatever answer he got. I have to wholeheartedly agree with them. Like, why is he all in your business? And what does he mean? Is it not in the cards for you? Like, what does that even mean? I don't get it. I absolutely do not get that line of questioning. Someone else says, as someone who had to get a hysterectomy before age 30 and before any chance with kids, I still find it hurtful when people ask me when me and my husband are having kids. So my DH, I don't know what they mean by DH. And I would start with, it's just not for us, and kept it vague and polite. I don't know what that says. Anyways, someone else said, I say my baby maker is broken. They get uncomfortable and I think they deserve it. Yeah. Because why are you in people's wombs business? Like, be in your own business. Why are you in her business about whether and she answered the first question. Do you like kids? No. Her boyfriend, in my opinion, shouldn't have jumped in and let the answer be no. They laughed and they moved on. The couple didn't even realize that the conversation kept going on. And they're the one that was pressing. They're the ones that were being nosy. So y'all got to let me know, Bree Hive, whether you think that OP is the a-hole or if she was not the a-hole. So we got a couple of comments coming in. And again, hello to everyone that is watching live, and hello to everyone on the replay. If you haven't already, please do hit the like button. It does help us out on the channel, and we definitely appreciate it. So we first have Mary Jane, really not Sarah, saying not the a-hole. I have to agree. I already gave my opinion, but I had to agree with it, because why is it your business? Please let me know why it's Mr. Other man's husband's business to know what is going on with her womb. Okay. Mary Jane says, who asked someone if it's not in the card? Sounds like are you barren? Without saying the words, right? You're asking that question without directly saying the words to try to say, oh, I'm not being offensive. Honestly, I feel like the pregnant woman should have nudged her man and been like, shut up. You don't ask people that. Like, men are sometimes clueless, and you have to tell them, don't ask people when they're having a baby. You don't ask someone if you don't know if they're pregnant. You don't ask them if they're pregnant. That can be rude. Like, there are so many guidelines that I feel like women mostly understand. And it's not surprising to me that it was a husband kind of pushing this issue, because I feel like maybe he wasn't trying to be nefarious. Maybe he wasn't trying to be mean. But I do feel like sometimes men just don't get it. Like, don't ask people those kind of questions. Kimmy Locker says, no, OP isn't the a-hole. She answered a question, then doubled down when it was pushed. The pushy husband is an a-hole, and the partner's a bit of an a-hole for not supporting her. Exactly. If she says she hates kids, she hates kids. If it's rude, it's rude. It is what it is. He will figure it out. He should have never asked the question in the first place. So thank you, Kimmy. Kimmy also says, at least the partner didn't call her tone deaf and rude in front of other people, but he still spoke for her after she already said what she had to say. Right. She said what she said and she meant what she said. So why are you trying to change my answer? No, that is my answer. That's like being like, hey, ma'am, do you want broccoli? And I say no. And then you're like, yeah, give her some broccoli. No, I don't want any broccoli. Like, except this one is a little bit more of a serious topic, right? And so in this case, the parents are not the entitled ones. The boyfriend, to me, is kind of the entitled one. But OP, in my opinion, is definitely not the a-hole. Mary Jane says, LOL, both guys were the a-hole. I agree. Kimmy also agrees. Kimmy also agrees. Let me see here. There was something going on with the link that I sent to Kimmy. So let me fix that. Okay, let me fix that. And then we're going to jump into the next story. Thanks for the comments. And we are getting our lives together. Getting back in the mood for streaming, okay? Getting back used to it. Y'all had so much stuff to do this week. I'm gonna tell y'all about it. I'm gonna tell y'all about it later. But anyways, let's go ahead and jump into the next Reddit story. So the next one is, where did it go? Get it together, Brie. Oh, the post has been removed. This is the second time that this has happened to me on live stream. The second time this has happened to me on live stream. The post is removed. So the question was, am I the a-hole for not giving up my seat on a plane for a rude pregnant woman? Now, I kind of remember the story because I did actually read it. So I'm going to try to summarize what happened in the story and y'all can let me know. Of course, this person used some very colorful language that was amazing and spot on. But since I don't have it, I'm just going to try to summarize it the best I can. It won't be as witty as OP made it, but we're still going to try to summarize it. So, am I the a-hole for refusing to give up my seat on a plane for a rude pregnant woman? So this was a story where it was two male partners in a relationship, and one of the male partners is afraid of flying. The partner writing, the OP, was the one that is not afraid of flying. And he basically explained that his partner is like horribly terrified of flying on planes. And he needs his partner, husband, next to, I can't remember if they were just in a relationship or if they were married, but he needed his partner next to him in order for him to feel calm. OP explained that even when OP would go to the bathroom on the plane, his partner would pretty much freak out when he walked away. So the way that the seating arrangement was OP's partner, which is a male, OP, which is a male, and then the husband of the pregnant woman, which at first he identifies as just a man, right? Sitting on the aisle seat. So window is OP's partner, OP is in the middle, and the husband of the pregnant woman is on the outside. And so they board the plane. He's getting his partner all settled and situated and making sure that he's not feeling anxious. And I think they turn on a movie or something. I might be adding in extra details, but who cares? Who cares at this point, right? So they go ahead and sit down, and then a pregnant woman comes, or a woman is what he describes it as, comes up to him and say, hey, would you mind trading seats with me? And OP says, no, I would like to keep my seat. And then the woman goes, oh, well, I'm pregnant. And OP says, you can barely see a bump. Maybe she was about 4 months along, which makes sense to me because if you are pregnant, you probably shouldn't be flying. If you're like high risk, like 8 months plus, I think they tell you to stop flying around 6 months or something like that. She goes, well, I'm pregnant. And then like she shows her bump and he's like, it's barely a bump, but I wouldn't have known she was pregnant other than when she pointed it out. And he goes, no, I'm not moving my seat. He says something witty to her. And then he goes, well, my partner needs me here. So I'm going to stay here. I don't know all the words that were said. Like I said, it was a witty response. She got mad. And then the person behind them told the lady, hey, just go take your seat. He doesn't want to give up his seat. He doesn't have to give up his seat. And so she went to sit down. And he goes on to say, I thought everything was fine until I got off the plane. And the pregnant woman, mind you, she's making this big deal about her being pregnant. The pregnant woman bumps into him so hard that he almost falls over. And we're talking about a woman bumping into a man, almost making him fall over. What he said about the husband sitting next to him is that he had nothing to say. There was nothing for a husband to say. He didn't react. He didn't support his wife. He did not support his wife. He just sat there. She walked away and went to her seat, and he just kept going on about his life. So husband was not interested in sitting next to his own wife. OP ended up keeping his seat, and the husband kept his seat. The husband said, oh, maybe you could have said it nicer. Like, I'm glad you told her no and stood your ground because, I needed you, but I wish you would have said it nicer. And I'm sorry, y'all. I can't tell you the words he used and if they were mean or not. But he said it a little snappy. Okay, that's all I got. I don't remember the exact words. So anyways, do you think this person would be the a-hole because he did not give up his seat to a pregnant woman? Y'all let me know. And unfortunately, there are still comments, so we can actually read Reddit's comments. So let's check those out. 2 days ago, Not Creative at All 16 says, that's how I feel about myself. Says, not the a-hole, being pregnant does not entitle anyone to anything. She asked, you said no. That should have been the end of it. If she needed to sit next to him, she could have paid extra and gotten an accommodation from the airline. Her lack of planning is not your fault. And this is what I see a lot of times with these airplane stories, because why are people always trying to take your seat on the airplane? Hey, can you move? No. Why? Why would I move? I don't know why. Why is that a thing on airplanes? Has that always been a thing? I feel like I've never run into that problem until you started to have to actually pay extra for your leg room or pay extra to sit at the front of the plane. So y'all let me know. Was that common? Do people always ask to switch seats? Because like when you get on the bus, nobody asks you to switch seats on the bus or the train or anything else. So why is this a thing on the plane? Well, I want to switch with you. You don't need to sit there. Oh, the thing is, I forgot to explain. The partners, they didn't look alike. They were two different races, and he said they didn't really match. Like one of them was kind of nerdy and one of them was like kind of cool. So you wouldn't expect for them to be together. But he told him, this is my partner and I need to sit with him. But probably walking up, the woman probably didn't think that they even knew each other at all. So that was a point that I left out in the story. But either way it goes, I don't know. I don't get the audacity. I need you to move because I'm pregnant. Ma'am, you're 1 day pregnant. Like, get out of my face. Get out of my face with all of that. Someone else says, literally, their next option should have been asking her seat neighbor if they wanted to switch with the husband. Why did that not occur to them? You asked, you got an answer, move to the next option on the list. There'd be some logic to her unnecessary entitlement if it was a window seat, but a middle seat. Yeah, like that is a kind of a throw off too. They want the middle seat, but people do that because they want to sit next to a certain person. So the entitlement was wild for a middle seat. Someone else says, because the person behind her told her to move, so clearly she was down the back, and if her husband was being quiet, he didn't want to swap to move to the back of the plane. And do we really blame the husband for not wanting to sit with her? I probably wouldn't want to sit with her either. So let's go ahead and jump into Beehive comments and see what y'all got to say about everything. Mary Jane says, no, why did they remove this post? Does it tell us why? It doesn't really tell us why. I guess it does tell us why, but I can't really find it. It said, they just said a more appropriate sub for this Reddit thread, which is, because the Reddit thread is gay boy throwaway 25. So, no, that was his name. Never mind. Sorry. His name was, it's actually in the Am I the A-hole thread. So I don't know why this would be inappropriate. He's asking, am I the a-hole? violates Rule 5. We do not allow posts which concern violence. This includes any mention of violence in any context. So I don't remember what he told her to do. Maybe he said something rude. I don't know. I don't know. But he did say some snappy stuff. I just don't remember. He did say she pushed him, so I don't know if that counts as violence. I don't know. Y'all let me know. Cheryl C says, no, you are never the a-hole for choosing not to give up your seat to someone else on a plane. I dealt with this recently. It was way more than this one. It was the worst flight of my life, 10.5 hours. Oh, I hate sitting on airplanes for that long. 10 hours. I have not had a flight that long. Most flights that I go on, if it's more than 7 hours, it's going to land and take me back up. But 10 and a half hours and someone wants to switch seats with you? Oh my gosh. Mary Jane says, I hate those seat changer weasels, not the a-hole. And I'm just like, why? Why do you need to change seats? It makes no sense to me. Kimmy Locker says OP might have been an a-hole depending on how he worded it. But like Cheryl C said, nobody's an a-hole for keeping the seat they paid for. Yeah. And so it sounds like the partner did say he could have said it nicer. I don't remember the words. It was snappy. I do remember it being a read, but I really don't remember what the words were. Miss Frosty says, if you want a specific seat to sit beside someone, pay for your seat. Yeah, exactly. And even if you're on Southwest, even though I heard they're not about to let you keep picking your seats, but if you're on Southwest and you just kind of bored, maybe you pay for priority boarding to make sure that there are enough rows available for you to be able to pick your seat. Y'all, pay a little extra, okay? Mary Jane says, am I the a-hole? Always remove stuff. Yeah, I don't know why. I think that's what happened on the last live stream too, huh? It was the Am I the A-hole subreddit, if I'm not mistaken. Mary Jane says there was a push, so I guess violence, LOL. Yeah, I'm like, it's a push. I mean, he said he pushed her so hard that he almost fell down. I don't know how big he is in comparison to her, but just thinking normal female anatomy versus male anatomy for average size female and male, I'm thinking it had to be pretty aggressive. They might have been around the same size, but just guessing on the size, I'm thinking it was a pretty hard push. Let me see something, y'all. Sorry. Get your life together. Sorry, y'all. I'm trying to do something a little new, and I probably just screwed everything up. Give me a second. Nope, I didn't screw it up. I had the right thing. Okay, hopefully that is right. I don't know what happened to my picture on here. It's a little bit strange, if I do say so myself. Oh, I'm a little talking dot. Camera. Okay, we're back. We are back. Okay. Oh, sorry, Kimmy. I thought I sent it. It was copied and pasted, and I just saw that I never sent it to you. Oh my gosh. I'm so sorry. Yeah. Hopefully, whatever I'm doing right here is correct. Let's see. Nope, that's too much. Okay. There we go. That should be fine. I think that's fine. Let me see. I think there was some more. Yeah, I know. I need to start copying the text so I don't lose it, because that was. I try not to do that, but I'm gonna have to start doing that. Okay, there was a story. Cheryl C says, I don't want to flood the chat with the whole story, but the entire family was awful. I started off being nice to them, but it got worse and worse. OMG, the entitlement of that woman. I'm still mad. I definitely understand. I don't know what's be wrong with people outside. Like, I really don't understand. Mary Jane says, Cheryl C, that sucks. People like that ruin flights. I love planes, but I hate people. LOL. Yeah, nope. I get it. I definitely get it. I'm just like, flights are already nerve-wracking enough. And then for you to sit here and try to create a big deal, a big problem out of something that you caused yourself. This is your problem. I am not fixing it for you. It's one thing to be polite and say, excuse me, but to give up my whole seat, absolutely not. on a 10 and a half hour flight. Plan ahead. If you know you want a specific seat, if you know you need to sit with specific people, plan ahead. Let's go ahead and, I didn't realize that Kimmy has been doing polls. So let's see. Am I the a-hole for refusing to give up my seat on a plane for a rude pregnant woman? The options were, yes, OP is the a-hole. No, someone else is the a-hole. Nobody is the a-hole, and everyone is the a-hole. And the answer was no, someone else is the a-hole. I'm gonna go with the pregnant woman. Pregnant woman is the a-hole, in my opinion. Let's go ahead and jump over to the next story. Next story, entitled Parents. Y'all let me know what y'all think. Don't tell me this is another one that got removed. You're kidding me, right? Oh no. Okay. I'm like, what the heck? All of mine are getting removed. Okay. We're in the Am I the A-hole subreddit saying, am I the a-hole for asking my friend to leave my birthday party because she brought her crying baby? So this lady is apparently, let me just read the story. So, am I the a-hole for asking my friend to leave my birthday party because she brought her crying baby? They go on to say, I, 27 female, recently threw a birthday party at my apartment. It was a pretty low-key gathering with about 10 friends, lots of snacks and a couple of drinks, and just a fun night hanging out. Everything was going fine until my friend, Sarah, 28 female, showed up with her 7-month-old baby. I think it's hard with new mothers and like trying to determine what events are appropriate for babies. I don't know. Can I be wrong? I might be wrong, y'all. Let me know. Now, I love Sarah and I know she's a mom, but I wasn't expecting her to bring the baby to a party. Yeah, a party. Especially like when you think about what time did the party start? Is it a baby shower? Is it another kid's party? Why are you bringing a baby to a party? For her birthday, a 27-year-old's birthday. Okay, so now I love Sarah and I know she's a mom, but I wasn't expecting her to bring the baby to a party, especially since we had planned to play games, drink, and chat. Yeah, you can't bring a baby to that. The baby started crying almost immediately when they walked in, and Sarah tried to calm her down, but she was clearly struggling. At first, I thought it was just a momentary thing, but the crying continued for almost an hour, super loud and nonstop. It was hard to hear anything over the noise, and some of the other guests were getting visibly uncomfortable. I eventually pulled Sarah aside and asked her if she can maybe step outside with the baby or take a break in the other room until the baby calmed down. I explained that it was just hard to enjoy the party with the crying. She was clearly upset and told me that I should be more understanding. This is my birthday. I don't have to be understanding. If I would have said, let's go to the playpen or to breakfast or something, maybe, yeah, you could bring the baby. But to my birthday party, I don't have to be understanding to that. I do not have to be understanding to that. Okay, be more understanding. No, I don't want to. Since she can't just leave the baby at home. The baby doesn't have a dad. That's insensitive. I shouldn't say that. But you don't have nobody to watch your baby. This is a birthday party. What are we talking? Not a kid's birthday party, a 27-year-old's birthday party. Let me see. She can't just leave the baby at home, and she was doing her best to keep her calm. She ended up leaving shortly after, and now she's not speaking to me. I feel bad because I know being a mom is hard, but I also feel like it was my birthday, and I wanted to have a good time without the crying baby. Some people think I was rude for asking her to leave, while others think I was just trying to protect the vibe of the party. Am I the a-hole? I thought she just said, can she go in the other room or could she step outside? I didn't know if she asked her to completely leave, but y'all let me know what y'all think. Do you think that this lady is an a-hole for asking her friend with a crying baby to leave her birthday party? Mind you, this is not a little kid's birthday party. This is a 27-year-old birthday party. The mother with the crying baby is 28, and she brought a 7-month-old baby. So let me know. Let me know whether you think that mom is an a-hole. Let's go ahead and check out the comments on Reddit. So this is the 1% commenter. I guess everyone is upvoting this, saying, not the a-hole. Her child is not your responsibility, and her inability to find childcare so she can attend an adult function is not your problem to solve. Her giving you the silent treatment is called emotional blackmail. When it starts, it never ends. Hold firm and don't give in. She's the one who decided to bring the baby. She's the one who decided to leave. She's the one who is trying to punish you by using the silent treatment. She can be the one to reconnect and apologize. Anything short of that is unacceptable. She's beyond rude. I absolutely agree with that comment. Like, she caused her own problem. This is what we're talking about with entitled parents, okay? It sounds like this was a child-free party. Why is there a child at the party when I didn't invite a baby to the party? You are the problem, ma'am. I agree. Make sure y'all are voting in the chat. Oh, wait, the other one is still up. Oh, I got to end the poll. Okay. Make sure y'all are letting me know whether you think this person is a-hole. Someone else says, thanks for the reply. OP says, thanks for the reply. You make a lot of good points. I agree that it's not my responsibility to solve her childcare issues, and I shouldn't feel guilty for wanting to enjoy my birthday without dealing with the disruption. It definitely feels like emotional blackmail with the silent treatment, and I'm not about to let that continue. I'll hold firm and can't wait for her to come around and apologize if she feels the need to. I appreciate you helping me feel more confident in my decision. Good job, OP. Someone else responds and says, you're 100% not the a-hole. I'm a mom and I can't imagine bringing my baby to a party and then letting them cry for that long. It's incredibly rude and entitled. Like, why would you even want to bring your baby? Like, you don't got no one to watch your baby? That's a problem. Do you really value her friendship? If so, is this pretty typical of her character, or is she normally very considerate? I'm only asking because if this is someone you really love and this isn't normal for her, you may consider making an exception. Difficult babies are truly terrible and she may be struggling, which doesn't make this okay, but may change how you respond. And maybe she could, follow up with her. But also, she got to realize that I get being a new mom can be tough. Deciding where, when, and how, and where to bring the baby can be tough. But also, your baby is crying for an hour. You have to feel some type of way. But if she couldn't find anyone to watch her baby, she probably is doing this alone. The dad's probably not around. Her family's probably not around. And she may be struggling. So I don't think that OP is the a-hole for letting her leave, but I also don't think that the friend is handling it well by now ignoring her. She could talk to her and say, hey, look, I was very overwhelmed. It hurt my feelings that you asked me to leave because I feel like I have no one. I can't go out, blah, blah, blah. She needs to communicate with OP, and the OP can say, I'm sorry, I understand that you're feeling that way. Maybe let me take the baby off of your hands for a couple of hours. And they could kind of build this bond in this, probably build the relationship between OP and the baby to where if the friend brings the baby to some other kind of function and the baby is crying, maybe if OP holds the baby, then it'll stop crying. It sounds like she needs to build some type of community with her friend so that it would be easier to help her with the baby. But it does sound like she's doing it alone. And I still don't think that the mom had the right to get mad at OP. So two things can be true at once. Let me see here. Someone else says, yeah, I was thinking the friend is rude and entitled or utterly desperate. If this is an old friend worth keeping aside from recent behavior, please reach out and spend some time with her. Make sure she's okay and not spiraling. Yeah, because she could be MPPD. That is one big thing to think about when you're dealing with new moms. So let's go ahead and jump into the chat and see what y'all think and whether y'all think that OP is the a-hole. And Kimmy did go ahead and post the poll again. So if you think they are the a-hole and you're watching live, make sure, or if you have thoughts and you're watching live, make sure you go ahead and vote in the chat on the poll. Okay, so let's see. We got Miles saying, I don't think the mom was an a-hole, but was deaf in the wrong for being there and staying that long. I do think it seems that the mom seems desperate to maintain friendship. That does sound accurate. But also, like you said, you shouldn't have stayed that long. If you still just wanted to show that you're a friend and you wanted to stop by, I think she should have just stopped by and then say, oh, I'm sorry, the baby's crying. Let's go to lunch. Let's do this. Let's do that on a different time, because that clearly was not the time and place to have the baby. The baby was not having it. So she should have, as a mother, realized, okay, this is not working. Maybe let's plan lunch. I think that could have worked. Okay, and then Kimmy went ahead and put the plane details in the chat. I'll probably circle back to it at the end if I remember, but y'all, of course, can check out the chat and see what was actually in the Reddit post because we're on a different story right now. Thank you, Kimmy, very much for that. But yeah, I agree with Miles. It seems like she's trying to maintain friendship, but she also got to go about it a better way. Mary Jane says, yeah, the baby is not fit for a party. Baby is not for party. I wouldn't stay at the party like that. I probably wouldn't have even brought the baby. And if it's again about maintaining the friendship, is show up for a couple minutes, baby's crying, say, hey, I gotta go, the baby's crying, let's do something later. Or just not go and say, hey, I don't have anyone to watch the baby. Let's do a rain check, let's go to lunch, whatever. I have so much stuff to tell you, whatever it is. Don't make someone else's birthday about you and the struggles that you're going through. I know PPD can be hard, but you also have to consider your friends if you want to maintain the friendship, right? Miss Fossey said, if the baby has been crying for an hour, it's time to leave. I think like 15 minutes. If you can't get that baby to be quiet, put it in the car and drive around, it'll go to sleep. Cheryl C says she could be doing it alone, or maybe she's burned all her bridges with other friends and family. Seems like she wanted to be out at a party more than she cared about how miserable her baby was or the guests. That is also a good point. It could be that nobody's helping her with her baby because she is entitled. It could go either way. This is what happens when we only have one side of the story. Oh, that is a good point, Cheryl C. Good point. Mary Jane says, thanks to Kimmy for the plane recap. Yes, of course. Thank you for that. I picked it up, but it wasn't started, but that's okay. So I think overall vote, let's see what the poll says. Am I the a-hole for asking my friend to leave my birthday party because she brought her crying baby? The options were yes, OP is the a-hole. No, someone else is the a-hole. Nobody is the a-hole and everyone is the a-hole. And 60% said that no, someone else was the a-hole. I'm assuming the friend. And 40% says nobody's the a-hole. Friend could be going through some stuff. I don't know. Let me know what y'all think. And then Kimmy also said, I feel bad for the mom, but don't think anybody's the a-hole. I definitely understand that because like we said, we only have one side of the story and it could be a lot of different factors of why she's even behaving like that. 7 months is not, the baby is just here. It's a fresh baby, only 7 months old. So I can definitely see PPD being something that is affecting her and her really needing support from her friends, but also she needs to speak out about that, not at someone's birthday party. But I can get PPD can make you do unreasonable things, right? Mary Jane says, Kimmy, yeah, maybe. And I hate crying babies laughing my A off. It makes me crazy. Yeah, I was going to title this video, Hate Kids. How to avoid entitled parents, but I'm like, YouTube probably wouldn't like that title. And by the way, y'all, I don't hate kids. It is hard for me to deal with other people's kids because some people don't know how to parent their children. I do want kids eventually, but the way people's kids be acting up, I don't know. I don't know if I could do it. Maybe not. No, we'll probably have kids, but still. Kimmy Lockett says, my friend group definitely does things differently. There was a 4-month-old at the last party I went to, and everybody took turns holding and loving him up. Well, that's good. That is good. But I also think it's like if you know your friend group is like that, then yes. But it sounds to me like she might be the first one with the baby or the first one to bring a baby to the party. It sounds to me like OP is child free. I could be just making things up, but she sounds child free, so I could definitely understand why she wouldn't want the baby there. But also like she didn't feel the need to tell her not to bring the baby because she had no idea she was going to bring a baby. Like she's like, we about to be drinking and having fun. Who's going to watch the baby? Like now she just has to be more clear when she invites her to places and say, oh, where's the baby going to be? Where's the baby going to be? People I know with kids, I'll be like, are you bringing the kids? Are you bringing the kids so I can know what to prepare for? She might have to do that. Cheryl C says to Mary Jane, I hate the sound of crying babies too. I can deal with it. Like when people get mad at babies on the plane, I don't understand. It's like my ears hurt. I understand why the baby is crying because I don't even know what to do. Okay. I want my ears to stop hurting and the baby just really doesn't know. So I think it depends on the situation about crying babies. I do think like if you're in like a movie theater or a restaurant or something of that nature and your baby is not calming down within 5 minutes or so, you need to get up and walk out. That's my, and in a movie, I would probably say you gotta, you y'all gotta get up and go. In a movie theater. In a restaurant, I could probably deal with it a little bit, but in a movie theater, baby gotta go. Baby has to go outside, okay? Kimmy Locker says to Mary Jane, he started crying once and I was like, gimme, and was subsequently crowned the baby whisperer. I love me a baby. That's good. That is good. Cheryl Seasons always asks, why would the friend not have asked if it was okay to bring the baby? I think that since she's such a new mom, she probably didn't know to ask. I think that is a thing. Like me, my friends with babies, they don't ask me if they can bring the baby. I always ask them, are you bringing the baby? Are you bringing the baby or no? Let me know what I can expect, okay? Mary Jane says, Kimmy, LOL, I'll be the cat whisperer. That sounds like a better job, right? And I don't even really like cats like that. Cheryl C says, oh, and not mad at crying babies, but I do get mad at parents who think we can't hear. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. If your baby is crying, you are the parent, you have to do something about it. I'm not saying, put your hand over their mouth. I'm not saying put your hand over their mouth so they can't cry, but you get up, walk them around, bounce them around, get them to stop crying. You don't just keep sitting there eating while the baby is crying. Have y'all ever seen that? There's someone sitting there and their baby is crying and they just keep eating like the baby's not crying. It's like, your baby is crying, okay? Your alarm is going off. Take it for a walk. Not me calling babies it's. I need to stop. I got to move on from this case. Miss Frosty says, when my children were little, I left more than one restaurant because of the baby not settling down. Yeah. And not to say you have to leave permanently, but at least step outside, right? At least step outside. Kimmy Locker says to Cheryl C, yeah, I don't understand why the mom wasn't willing to step outside or the other room. She gave her perfect option. She really didn't ask her to leave. She said, can you take the baby over there for a little while, get it to calm down? Because maybe the baby was overstimulated. Maybe the baby hasn't been around a lot of people. So you're probably causing stress to your baby versus if you would have took her in the room, calmed her down, maybe put her to sleep. That might have been a better option. Miles says, movie? Who brings a baby to a movie theater? People do. People do bring babies to movie theaters. It says, that sounds bizarre to me. And I have kids and they're teens now. People literally do. Kimmy says, your alarm is going off. Yeah, it is. It's an alarm to move them around, take them places. I don't know. Mary Jane says, Miles, it says to Miles, it's weird, but they should get banned for a year. I don't know what possesses people. I think they'd be like, oh, well, they're 9 months or they're 1 year old. They're not going to cry. No, they're going to freaking cry. I don't even know if it's safe to bring like a 2-year-old to the movie theater because you never know how they're going to react. You never know how babies are going to react. They might like movies at home, but as soon as you get them in the theater, it's huge. It's big booms. No, I don't want to be here. You never know. I think you might need to wait till like 4 or 5 to bring kids to the movie theater. It's hard to know, and even a 4 and 5-year-old, you don't know how they're going to act, but I don't know. Let me see. Cheryl C says, so many people bring babies to the movie theater. So many. Don't know why, but they do. I really don't know why, but they really do. Mary Jane says, how did they have a baby in the quiet place? I don't know. That was the weirdest thing. Like, there's no way that baby would have made so much noise unless the baby was like mute or something. There is no way that would have been a real story. Babies, yeah, no, they're crazy. Because wasn't the whole premise was that the baby was born into quiet, so then they just never cried? Because the baby didn't start off in the movie. I haven't watched it in a while, but they had the baby during the movie, right? I could be wrong. Anyways, let me go ahead and jump on to the next story because I didn't say that 3 times. Let's go ahead and jump over. So the next one we are in family law subreddit. So this is not really a am I the a-hole, but we're going to read it as a am I the a-hole kind of thing. Uh-oh. The one that I sent to Kimmy, the adoption one didn't work for me either, Kimmy. I don't know what the heck I just did. Sorry. I'm gonna have to find it. Shoot. What was it called? Am I the a-hole? Ida. I forgot which one it was. Dang it. Well, we're just going to do this one that I just found on my page. Dang, I forgot what it was called. I messed up the link. Sorry about that. I don't know what I thought. I thought I had it right and I didn't. So anyways, let's go ahead and jump into the next story, which is my ex just informed me he's going to try for 50-50 custody to spite me. Can he do this? We're going to read this as an am I the a-hole? Is the ex an a-hole for trying to get 50-50 custody based on the facts that we are about to get from this Reddit story? This is happening in the family law subreddit, and we are in Arizona, y'all. So I don't know Arizona law, but we just gonna talk regular, okay? Am I the a-hole style? So my soon-to-be ex is beyond angry at the amount he has to pay in child support and alimony. So he's now decided that he would rather try to have 50-50 custody to pay me less. That's the sole reasoning, and I have the messages to prove it. If his schedule permitted, I would love for him to have custody of our children half the time, because although he's a crappy husband, he's an amazing dad, and I wish our kids could be with him more. Unfortunately, he works a lot and can't possibly get our kids to and from school on any weekdays. He would have to hire a nanny to take care of the kids from about 5 a.m. until 6 p.m. on his days, with some Saturdays mixed in there as well. Our custody schedule is every other Friday from 4 p.m. until Monday, 8 a.m. And he can come and see the kids anytime he wants for dinner or to hang out, because things weren't contentious until recently. My question is, since he's physically unable to be there to take care of our children, and he's doing this to spite me, is this something that could likely happen? He seems to think because I choose to go out of town once a month on my time away from the kids that I'm breaking some kind of rules, and a judge will look poorly on that. If he has the kids, you can do whatever you want. What do you mean? He thinks you're doing something wrong by going out of town on the weekends when he has the kids. What does he do on his weekend? I guess he's working. But so what? That's his problem. He chose that job, not you. Okay. Please note, he hasn't started paying me any child support or alimony yet. I am not spending any of his money when I leave town. That wouldn't even matter. That's none of his business what you spend the money on, because you're taking care of the kids majority of the time. 75% of this is a 75% custody. She has 75, or I guess more like 30% custody. So what does it matter? Even if you spend the money on all the adult activities you want when the kids are out of the house, you're allowed to do that. Okay. So let's see. So she's noting he hasn't started paying me any child support or alimony yet. I am not spending any of his money when I leave town. He just likes to use money to control me. I have my own job and a source of income, but my schedule is much more flexible which is why I'm able to take the kids to and from school and their activities. Can we answer now? There's an edit, and the edit's kind of long. So let's see what the edit says. To add some things in hopes that people actually read, and for some additional clarity, because I was heated when I wrote this. First of all, like I said above, I have a job and my own source of income. I can see why she left him. I'm gonna say that and I'm gonna keep going. So we have been married for 19 years and together for 22. We are in our 40s with a 3-year-old and two elementary age. We are in our 40s with a 3-year-old and 2 elementary age kids. We waited to have kids. It's been a long-term relationship. People here have assumed we haven't been married long. He isn't paying me anything in alimony or child support yet, but we do have a joint account. We both contribute equitably to that pays our household bills. Sorry. We both contribute equitably to that. We pay our household bills out of, and that was written so bad, and things for the kids. So he is contributing. We are able to keep accounts together because until 2 nights ago, things weren't contentious. I am also not keeping him from the kids at all. He sees them literally every single day. I still cook all of his meals and he still tucks them in at night. I won't keep him from the kids at all. And if a 50-50 custody arrangement is actually possible, I would be all for it. Our kids adore him and he loves them very much. This isn't about money for me. The state of Arizona has automatic calculations based on your incomes. He makes far more than I do. I carry our kids' health insurance, and even with that, they determined that we are at 11% split with things as far as money goes, or as far as custody, because every other weekend, that sounds like more than 11%. That should be like a 30%. No, that's 3 weekends. So yeah, it's more than, no, I guess. Yeah, about 10%. Yeah. Okay, yeah, she's right. When we got the sum he was supposed to pay me, I voluntarily reduced the amount to nearly $2,000 a month. So it was more than $2,000 a month because I felt the percentages were too high. He didn't ask me to. This isn't a money grab for me at all. He works crazy hours. In fact, he leaves the house every morning at 5 a.m. and gets home at 6 p.m. at the earliest. Most nights, it isn't until 8 p.m. I do believe that he takes his time unwinding before he comes home, which is fair. Having 3 kids is a lot of work. And he works. Having 3 kids is a lot of work, and he works hard during the day. Nearly 100% of all domestic duties are on me. His sole responsibilities were working. That isn't a dig on him. That is what we decided together. If I needed help with something, I would ask him and he would do it. So it isn't like he would just sit on his butt and do nothing. The only question I had and my only reason for posting was the question, can my ex go 50-50 custody despite me? I understand he can and should have 50-50 custody under normal circumstances, but he said, I am going to ask for 50-50 custody and have a nanny raise our kids during my time with them to spite you to me. I was angry because he wants to do this to hurt me, not because he actually wants to spend time with the kids. That is messed up. I agree with her. That's messed up. There's a lot of bitter people here. Most of them don't know how to read, or if they do, they can't comprehend what they're reading. I do not want to take my kids away from their dad at all. I don't want to bleed him dry with money. After all is said and done, child support and alimony will be less than 25% of his take-home pay. And trust me, that leaves him with plenty of funds. Yeah, because if you reduced it to $2,000, that means he's making a good chunk of money, okay? Less than 25%. So what? He's probably making like $10,000 a month take home. Yeah, dude, you better take the $2,000 and be quiet. Okay. He better take the $2,000 and be quiet. Also, he is in the process of taking over my family's business. He put in years of hard work and dedication for this. And when we separated, he was worried he would have that taken from him. I wouldn't dream of that. He deserves it because he's a rock star at his job. And I did have a lot to do with getting him to where he is. I hope this clears up some things. She doesn't sound like a bad person to me. She does not sound like a bad person to me. Y'all let me know whether y'all think this person is an a-hole for basically contesting the 50-50 custody, because the husband is just doing it to spite her, not because he actually wants to spend time with his kids, which I think is pretty sad. So let's see what the Reddit has to say. And they're not going to be saying, oh, you're the a-hole or you're not the a-hole, because this is, can he get 50-50, which I'll talk about in just a moment. But let's see what some of the comments had to say, and then I'll jump into the Beehive comments. So first person, who is a lay person, not a legal professional, saying, let him have 50-50. When he starts asking you to take them more often, make records. He will owe you child support the longer you have them. Someone else says, if he asks for it, he will get it. Just ask for a right of first refusal, so you get the children when he can't. This will allow you to establish that he can't maintain 50-50 and petition to adjust the schedule. Also, another commenter stated, swing it as a positive. He will get to be more present and participate more in the child rearing. Another layperson says, sis, let him drown in his own created problems. He'll realize it's not attainable and will ask to change the agreement back. Yep. That's what I think is going to happen. So my opinion on this is, can he get 50-50? Honestly, it sounds like they're in the same house, because she's saying he takes his time to get home, blah, blah, blah. I guess they're trying to come up with a plan of like when they actually move out of the same home, because she's saying she's still cooking all of his meals. I think that they still live together. I don't know. Y'all can let me know if y'all think I'm wrong on that, but I think that they still live together. So technically it's already 50-50 because they still live together. Now, when they do move out of the home, the court is not going to let him just get 50-50 when the other parent is available. And to me, it sounds like the other parent is available. So all the argument that she has to make is that he's not available to actually take care of the kids. And the court will ask him, okay, well, how are you going to get the kids to school? And he's going to say, oh, I'm going to get a nanny. Okay, well, why would you get a nanny and to take the kids to school when mom has been taking the kids to school for the last 6 years or whatever it is, however old the older kids are? It doesn't make any sense. So unless he gets in there and lie, and trust me, I have seen people get in there and lie and be like, oh, I have someone to take them, blah, blah, blah. I have a living girlfriend. Sometimes they make the living new girl go get a girlfriend so that the girlfriend can take care of the kids during his time, right? The court, if there's no girlfriend, he's not living with his mom and his mom's helping him out. If the other parent is available, the court is going to let the kid be with the other parent. And to me, it sounds like mom is available. So why would they take custody from her just so he can, like, the logic is not logicking. So he's complaining that he's going to be paying mom too much child support. How much does he think a nanny's cost? How much does he think a nanny costs? What he's going to do is going to get out there and get a girlfriend and try to get his girlfriend to play stepmom. That's what's going to happen. Because nannies cost money. Nannies are not free. So you're taking money out of your kid's mother's pocket, who, by the way, voluntarily already reduced the child support he would have had to pay, just to give it to some random lady that's going to be a nanny? I think not. The court's not going to, in my opinion, in my experience, the court's not going to do that. Mom's available. Dad, you're not available. You can ask for his work schedule. If all of a sudden he starts reducing his hours, more power to him. He'll make less money. The kids will be with him more and you both get what you want. But if that's not the case, because the crazy part is what he don't understand is that she's already reduced the child support to $2,000. And if Arizona child support and spousal support works any way that California does, even if he takes the kids more often, if he's the higher income earner, even if he takes 50-50, then guess what? Then spousal support goes up. So he's still probably going to be paying close to, if not the same amount he would have been paying had he kept the schedule that they have right now, the 10% schedule that he has right now. So, okay, yeah, you won't have to pay $3,000 in spousal, or you won't have to pay $3,000 in child support, but you pay $2,000 in spousal support, and then $2,000 in $2,000 in child support, and then $2,000 in spousal support. So that can happen. The money you take away from child support, you just give to the wife, because guess what? She's still going to need help living. Okay. A lot of people don't realize that, oh, I'll just take the kid more and then I won't have to pay as much. It might go down a little bit, but then your spousal support goes up. So that's one thing to consider. It's a long-term marriage. He's going to be paying her for years. And it sounds like he was the breadwinner. And then he's getting a business. She's probably going to get half of that. Assuming Arizona law works the same way as California. It probably doesn't, but whatever. I don't know if it's a community property state or not, but it's not going to work out for him. Okay, so even if, let's say it goes up to 50-50, and let's say the child support and the spousal support does not fluctuate like how California calculations fluctuate. Okay, let's say that doesn't happen for him. But he's going to take the kid 50% of the time, and she already reduced all support together down to $2,000. So even if he takes more time and he's the higher income earner, you know what's going to happen? The support order is probably going to be $2,000. So now you're taking more time off of work. You're paying a nanny, and you still got to pay the same $2,000 that she's willing to accept. Some people are their own worst enemies. He needs to go and talk to a lawyer and figure out what the consequences are going to be if he goes that route. Because two things can happen. Either when he takes more time for the child support, take more time of child custody, and child support goes down, spousal support is probably going to go up. So she's probably still going to be getting the same amount or very close to the same amount, the higher amount, not the $2,000 that she agreed to. Or let's say he does get more time, he gets the 50-50, and child support does substantially go down. I highly doubt that it was the child support will probably substantially go down, but spousal support will then go up. That's how I think it's going to work. But let's say that doesn't happen. Even if he does take the kids more and child support goes down a little bit, he's still the higher income earner. And so how much he's going to owe her will probably still be $2,000 or more. It's a stupid move. He needs to go and talk to someone, because no matter if it works like California, he's going to be screwed. If it doesn't work like California and she just says, okay, well, I just want guideline, he's probably still going to be screwed. It's probably still going to be more than the $2,000. I would love to know. Anyways, let's go on. Okay. Let's see what the Brie Hive has to say, because I was ranting. I'm sorry, y'all. I did not mean to rant in the way that I just ranted. Okay. So let's see where we are. Mary Jane says, not the a-hole in my opinion. And there is a poll up. So make sure y'all are voting whether wife is the a-hole or husband is the a-hole. Mary Jane says custody shouldn't be used as a weapon. And it sounds like that's exactly what he's doing. Cheryl C says, girl needs a lawyer immediately. Exactly. I think she's in a good position. He's not that smart, in my opinion. Miles says, sounds like ex-husband said a stupid thing in the heat of the moment and probably didn't mean it seriously. She should still make sure to track everything, as the first few replies said too. And that will help her in a custody battle if she does want. But it does sound like she wants him to have more time. It just doesn't sound like it's possible. And like I said, the court is not going to take time away from mom to give time to a nanny. It doesn't make any sense. And to me, like I said, I think they're still living together. So it technically is 50-50. Tell them start taking the kids to work then. Start practicing the schedule that you guys are going to practice when he moves out. And if he can do it, great, he can do it. But as soon as he start bringing nannies and nannies are picking the kids up, take them to school and get them ready for breakfast, then you document that, okay? She's still cooking his meals. He can't even cook himself dinner and breakfast. What makes him think that he's going to be able to do it for the kids? Okay? And again, the court's going to say, if you got money to pay a nanny, the kid is going to go with the mom, because what happens is if you have childcare, then he's going to be asking her to reimburse him half the childcare. Well, why do you have childcare when mom is available to take care of the kids? It makes no sense, Dad. That does not make any sense. Okay? Mary Jane said, messy it is. Very messy. Mary Jane says, LOL, yeah, nanny costs. Nannies are not free, okay? Just like babies shouldn't be at the theater, but hey. Mary Jane says, Miles, I agree, but might have been a dumb comment, but it's the a-hole thing. I don't know what you're referring to there. Cheryl C says, she said come over, so I don't think they still live together. This is not about the money. This is about her going out of town on the weekends. I put my money on it. Yes, I forgot to comment on that. He's just mad because she has a life outside of their relationship. He probably thought that she was going to be begging for him to come back and she was going to need him. No, Sis went out and she got a job. She hanging out. She having fun. It is about that. It's not about the money. I definitely agree with Cheryl C on that. But she said she cooks all the meals and he comes over every day and he tucks them in. I don't know. It sounds strange to me. Maybe they don't. I could just be assuming, but is what it is. Mary Jane says using your kids against their other parent is so cold. I agree. Definitely agree. We got Deacon Fatal, member of the channel. Welcome in, saying good evening, all. And no, I have no idea what's going on. We are just doing Am I the A-hole stories. Deacon Fatal says, wait, he didn't have a lawyer. He needs to get a lawyer because it sounds like he's about to screw himself over, but it does not sound like he has a lawyer with the dumb stuff he's saying. Deacon Fatal says, okay, so they are rich and they can make something work. They make a good amount of money, or it sounds like husband makes a good amount of money. And then Mary Jane says, love your rants. Thank you very much. Appreciate it. I go off on tangents. Sorry about that. Deacon Fatal says, so he is an adult child. Also, hi. Hello. Welcome in, Deacon Fatal. Kimmy Lockett says, I can't tell how I feel about this one. Reducing support is an a-hole move for sure, but some of the details don't add up to me. So I wonder if OP is totally reliable narrator. That's what I'm saying. Some stuff does not make sense to me. It doesn't sound like they even moved out. I know she's saying he can come over whenever he wants to, but I mean, coming over and making somebody dinner and them sitting here and they eating at dinner. The thing about them, like that, and that's why I said they probably still live together. So if he's there helping with homework and stuff like that, and then he puts them to bed and then he leaves, I would probably split that time between both of them, but it would only be halftime because I'm sure she's also helping during that time. So it does sound, the facts are a little sketchy, okay? We might need a little bit more detail. Kimmy Locker says, like, how does their custody agreement start Friday at 4 p.m. and end Monday at 8 p.m. if he's always gone until, I think it was 8 a.m. Let me see. Yeah, 8 a.m. So basically he drops the kids off at school. I think they still live together. I could be wrong, but it is 8 a.m., not p.m. And then she said, like, how does their custody agreement start at 4 p.m.? And then, I already read that one, huh? And then Kimmy says, and if he's an amazing dad who already sees them literally every single day and still tucks them in at night, maybe he does have the time and desire to spend with them if desired. And she made a comment of, I understand he does. I do think that he essentially lollygags to get home. And I understand because having 3 kids is hard. I think that they still live together. Because why would you even say that? I think he takes his time coming home. I mean, unless she just lives in the marital home and that's where he comes to visit the kids. But it sounds like he's visiting them like later in the night versus she's saying he doesn't get there until 6 p.m., which you could still like tuck people in at 6 p.m. So I don't think that one's completely inaccurate, but like the whole, they see him every day, blah, blah, blah. He could just be coming over, but her making his meals is what makes me think that they live together. Because ain't no way you just stopping by and picking up meals and we breaking up. Like, that's crazy work. Deacon Fatal says, happily single because I get to hang out with y'all for a bit. Love that. Welcome in. Then Kimmy Lockett says, also, if he's taken over her family business, that means he works for himself and can choose his hours and work from home. Yes, that is, I don't know about work from home because it might be like a restaurant or something. I don't know. But he could definitely probably choose his hours and like have other people work more and things of that nature. I agree. The question is he gonna do it? Right? He's gonna have to do it. And like I said, start practicing the schedule and see how it goes. If he hires a nanny, make a note of that. He's hiring a nanny, and I told him I'm available. And like I forgot, someone said, ask for the first right of refusal. Yes, I agree. Ask for the first right of refusal. Kimmy says, I don't think it's inaccurate that he sees them every day. I just think that might imply he could dedicate the time to taking care of them if he had custody. Yeah, I agree with that. The only thing I don't agree with is that since it's like seeing them every day and tucking them in, it sounds like he's seeing them at night, tucking them into bed and like either going home or going to his side of the house or whatever it is. But I do agree. He could probably change his schedule to make it work out for them and the kids. But for him to say, I'm gonna do this so I don't have to pay you child support, if he said that, right, that's messed up. Like, your kids are not, pay to play. Okay. Cheryl C says, She said he is welcome to come over at dinner time. So sounds like he came over after work, gets free home cooked meal dinner, and stays to tuck them in. Yeah, I saw that too. Oh, maybe that's what she said. Was the meals only the dinner? Maybe it was. I don't know. I don't have time to sort back through it, but that does make sense, Cheryl. Okay, y'all. I got one more that I just kind of pulled out the moon. I just pulled off the internet because I lost the adoption one. So we're going to go ahead and jump into the last story for the night. Y'all let me know. Oh, sorry. The poll says, oh, it disappeared. Never mind. It's gone. It was Am I the A-hole for the 50-50 thing. And the answer was OP's ex is the a-hole 60%. Because how you say, I just want my child, whatever it is. So thank you, Kimmy, for the poll. Let's go ahead and jump into the next one, which I did not send you the link to. So I'm going to do that right now. Because I lost the adoption one. I completely forgot. This one is, am I the a-hole for not letting my parents be involved grandparents because they chose my sister's friend over me? This was posted 12 hours ago in the Am I the a-hole, or this one is AITAH subreddit. So let's see. Am I the a-hole for not letting my parents be involved grandparents because they chose my sister's friend over me? I'm 25 female, pregnant with my first child, and only a few weeks ago, my estranged, I can never say that word, estranged parents found out about my pregnancy from someone I know back in my hometown. They reached out so excited to find out they were going to be grandparents and wanting to be involved, but I ignored them and continued ignoring them until 2 days ago when I replied one time and made it clear they will never know my child or be in our lives and that I wanted them to stop contacting me. This was all via email, by the way. And so I called this entitled parents, but I feel like this is entitled. No, there were some pregnant people that was entitled, right? Yeah. Okay. I think the title still works. Anyways, let's go on. Let me get into some background. Let's find out why she hates her parents, okay? I have an older sister, Sam, 28, and she had a best friend, Luna. Sam and Luna met in pre-K and became fast friends. Luna was over at our house all the time, and eventually she started saying really awful things to me and bullying me. She called me names, mocked me whenever I asked if I could spend time with her and Sam, threw stuff at me when she'd see me, and even got a game out and even made a game out of spitting at me and seeing how many times she could hit me. What? Who does that? Who was her parents? My parents knew and they did nothing, but once I was 7, they sat me down and told me that Luna had a bad time at home and she was mean, but she needed us and I needed to understand. Beat her up. Beat her up. Don't promote violence, Bree. Okay. And how Luna was so important to Sam and she would grow up into a better person if we didn't abandon her. That's not your 7-year-old's problem. That's not your 7-year-old's problem. This girl was 7 and they're like, we have to help her. And she's not helping them. That's messed up. Or they're not helping their own child. She goes on to say she used to come along to extended family parties and dinners. I remember one time mom's side was all meeting up, and because my parents didn't say Luna was coming, we were a chair short for a bit. Luna took the chair and then said there was no room for me at the table, just like there wasn't room for me anywhere, and I should cry in a corner somewhere. What? What's wrong with this child? Oh my gosh, she needs some therapy. Mom's family were horrified and I started to cry. I was like 9 by then. My grandparents ended up leaving the table and getting one for just the 3 of us, and they spoiled me while they refused to pay for a single thing Luna consumed. They asked me what was going on too, and I told them everything. Afterward, my parents got so much mess so they were basically getting cussed out from mom's side of the family, and mom's parents contacted my dad's parents and they were shamed by both sides. When they had enough of that, my parents told Sam that Luna needed to come over less and she needed to be nicer. They sort of stuck to that for a while. My grandparents checked in on me weekly to see if my parents were letting that spoiled little madam into the house to abuse me. And I think that was the deterrent for my parents. But then when I was 12, my parents let Luna move in with us. They said her home situation was worse and she was going to apologize and we were going to make sure she felt wanted and welcomed with us. No, your kid comes first. I'm sorry. I know kids go through things, but your own kid comes first. I got a sorry, I guess. But I got a sorry, I guess, but from her, but I could hear her making fun of me and to Sam whenever me and my parents weren't around. She laughed about how I looked betrayed when my parents told me she was moving in. She found it hilarious. This sounds like a freaking Lifetime movie. What the heck? I think you can see whose side Sam was on. I lived like that for a little over a year before it got to be too much, and I told my grandparents Luna was living with us. They went ballistic on my parents, and after weeks or months of fighting about it, my grandparents insisted I was going to move in with them. My parents protested against it, but my grandparents said they couldn't be trusted to take care of me. My parents wouldn't kick out Luna for me, so yeah, I lived with my grandparents the rest of that time, and I actually live in the same neighborhood as them with my partner now. I actually had zero contact once I moved with my grandparents. These emails were the first contact in more than a decade. My parents keep replying to that one email. I got like 4 within a few minutes, about an hour after I sent it. And they're telling me I'm taking this too far. And they said Luna isn't even in the picture anymore. Am I the a-hole? They haven't even followed up with their daughter for 10 years? For 10 years, and you're saying, oh, well, Luna's not in the picture, so let us be in the picture. You haven't even followed up with your child that you let go and live with your parents for a year? And you want to be a part of her child's life? No, if you don't like the mother, you don't like the child. That's my saying. That's my saying. I don't know if that's how you say it. That's what I always say. Hey, Fiona? Yeah. I answer my own question. Anyways, let's see what the Reddit comments say. Y'all make sure y'all are voting on the poll, not on the poll like, dancers on the poll, but the poll in the chat. Okay, make sure y'all are voting there. Let's see what Reddit has to say. Eastern Condition says, they said Luna isn't even in the picture anymore. This is the part that rips my heart out. Luna isn't even around anymore and they still didn't contact you. That's effed up. No contact forever. And you chose someone else's child over your own child. And then you want them to put their child in your hands? I think not. Someone else says, guess they didn't want to admit they abandoned their daughter and peeved off both sides of the family for nothing. Unbelievable. Yeah. You got your family members mad at you for someone else's child. Molly Frelly says, true, they face backlash. True, they face backlash from both sides of the family. They likely want to avoid further social condemnation, and you're not even dealing with that person anymore. It's ridiculous. Okay. And then OP responded and said they tried giving my grandparents mess about it for involving my other grandparents too, but my grandparents dealt with that swiftly. So these sound like horrible parents. These are horrible parents. Like, what are they doing? What the heck are they doing? Let's see what the Bree Hive has to say about this. Is OP the a-hole? Make sure y'all vote in the chat. Deacon Vito says, well, my first question is, why did they not go no contact with the parents? It sounds like the grandparents did go, or at least the child went no contact with the parents. The parents emailed OP, but how did they get in contact with OP? It doesn't really say how they got her email address. Yeah, it doesn't say like that the grandparents gave the information to it. It sounds like daughter OP was no contact with the parents. I don't know if the grandparents were also no contact with them, but she didn't talk to them, so I would assume the grandparents are also not talking to them, but I don't have those facts. Miles says the parents could The parents could help the friend better by giving her clear boundaries like you do with any kid you are parenting or otherwise a positive influence for. Exactly. You don't just let them do whatever they want because they have a bad life at home. And then now your kid has a bad life at home. Like, come on. That doesn't even make sense. Deacon Fatal says, this is how you train someone in bad behavior. That's exactly what they did. They basically supported the bad behavior. Deacon Fatal says, I don't like this family at all. Horrible family. As far as the parents go, the grandparents did a good job. Mary Jane said, is Luna being abused? This is nuts. That's what it sounds like to me, saying she has a bad life at home. But then you don't take it out on other kids. Miles says, sounds like a complicated and messed up situation, but ultimately the parents didn't handle it correctly. If they're going to act as foster parents, they should be appropriately trained for this situation, and they should be parenting even the child that they're letting be in their home constantly. You're making an unsafe environment for your own child. Kimmy says, no, OP isn't the a-hole. I understand her parents wanting to help a child in a bad situation, but they should have protected OP. And like Miles said, they did Luna a disservice by allowing bad behavior. I agree. Deacon Fatal says OP isn't the a-hole because she is setting boundaries. Yes, she is. Stay away from me and my child. Deacon Fatal says all of this gave me gas. I'm sorry. Mary Jane says, not the a-hole. Someone messed up Luna, but Luna shouldn't be allowed to be a bully. I agree. You don't coddle a bad child at the expense of another child. Okay, you need to start setting some boundaries for Luna. Miss Frosty says, I can understand wanting to help a child in need, but to make your own child suffer because of it, leave them cut out of your life. I agree. They should not be let back in your life, and they for sure should not be introduced to your kid. Deacon Fatal says, OP is not the a-hole. I agree. Kimmy says, also OP's parents screwing up when she was a child is one thing, but not contacting her for 10 years and only doing it because she's pregnant is another. Yeah, like, what are you trying to do? Get my kid so you can get that kid beat up too? Like, what the heck? This kid was spitting on your daughter. Like, what are you doing? Deacon Fatal says, wait, they were foster parents? I don't think officially. They just kind of took her in. Kimmy Locker says, OP's parents don't have a relationship with her, so why would they get a relationship with her child? Exactly. I don't know where people get off thinking that is appropriate. It's ridiculous. It's ridiculous. Anyways, y'all, that is all the stories that I had for today. Updates on the channel. As you can see, it has been very, very hard for me to be able to live stream, and I don't know if this is going to be an ongoing thing. It was my first week at work. Well, it's still my first week because I have to go in tomorrow. Anyways, it's my first week, so I don't know if this is going to be an ongoing thing. I have been my commute has basically doubled. So it's very hard for me to be able to stream, prep for stream, and stream 3 times a week. So I think what I'm going to do, and this might change as we go on. Unfortunately, I don't think that I'm going to be able to cover many celebrity cases anymore. We may just kind of stick to Reddit stuff for now until I get a better groove on what's happening on with my actual schedule with work, because it is going to change once I'm out of training. So right now I'm in training, and then it's going to probably change once I'm out of training, which may allow me to do a little bit more deeper dives on the celebrity lawsuits, but I just don't have the time to do it with the double of my commute and with being awake enough to get to work on time in the morning, okay? Because I have to wake up way earlier than I was previously when I lived closer by. And then also the attire and everything. Y'all don't need to know all of that. But either way it goes, the stories that I'm going to be covering are probably not going to be the same as what we have been doing. We may start getting into shorter live streams again. And I'm going to try to stream at least once a week, and you will be seeing probably these streams of the Reddits being chopped up into shorts and pushing those out, because I do still want to be active on the channel. I just don't have the time to consistently make content every single day or 3 times a week. And I definitely don't have time to be searching documents and pulling documents and figuring out what stories are interesting that I think y'all might want to cover. So I'm going to talk to Kimmy after this live stream to see what we can do. But other than that, it's going to be some changes. It may be temporary. It may be permanent. I'll let y'all know. I'll keep y'all posted. But I am still going to be live streaming, and I may start cutting down my live stream after the live stream to make it a little bit more concise, and posting it a couple of days after we actually live stream. So that may also be another change that we're going to be going through. So, Mary Jane says, I love the Reddit stuff. Don't get too stressed. Yeah, the Reddit stuff is easier for me. Like I can pick a theme and find a bunch of stories on it. And it doesn't take me a long time. With the celebrity stories, I can get pulled in. It's taking me a long time. As y'all was seeing, the streams were getting back to 2 hours and we were trying to do 1 hour streams previously. So thank you, Mary Jane. I like the Reddit stuff too. It's easier and it's fun. It's kind of more fun to me. Funner. Is it funner or more fun? Funner. I guess fun. I don't know. Kimmy Lockett says, don't forget to like and make sure YouTube didn't unsubscribe you, Beehive. Yes, thank you for the reminder on that. I completely forgot to say anything about liking the stream. So thank you for that. I think I said it in the beginning. Deacon Beto says, I'm tired of all get out, to be honest. That's no problem. We about to go lay down. We about to go lay down. Mama Bear 1 says, I like hearing the lawyer things, but at the same time, nobody else is doing Reddit. And I think that would be a good fit for Quick Lives. They're fun and different. Yeah. And I was doing them more on legal stuff. So I can continue to do some legal topics. Of like, should this person be sued? We did a couple of those before, and those are fun too. So I may try to aim more towards like, this could be criminal or this can be civil or whatever. I'll make it fun, right? But sometimes like the wedding stuff is interesting, but that doesn't really go to any legal. I mean, I guess unless you like, you know, burn someone's wedding down, but there's like different things that we can do. And then Mary Jane says to Mama Bear, I agree. It's quick, it's easy, and it's fun. Okay, good feedback. Kimmy Lockett says more fun. That's the right one. It's funner. I'll go with funner. Miss Frosty says, you need to take care of yourself first and foremost. I love when I can catch you live, but don't wear yourself out trying to do too much. I just love streaming. That's my problem. It's like, I like doing this. It's an outlet for me. But like you said, it will become too stressful if I continue to try to do 3 times a week. And like I said, I'm going to chop it up so that I'm still being active on YouTube so that the channel just doesn't go disappearing. Y'all never see me again. So I'm going to try at least once a week and then cut up Reddit reactions, and then I don't know. We'll see what happens. I'm gonna talk to Kimmy and see what we can do, and I will see y'all all on the next live stream, which will be sometime next week. I hope everyone has a wonderful weekend, and thank y'all so much for joining me live. Bye.